Chapter 4. The Party Setup. Miracle sat on the chipped wooden stool in the back of Lola's lounge, stirring her cheap cocktail with a red straw. The club was mostly empty this early in the evening. Just a few regulars at the bar and the usual smell of sweat, cheap perfume, and stale beer lingering in the air. She barely heard the music playing over the speakers, too lost in thought. What the hell happened last night? 1 second Hot Sauce was running his mouth, being his usual loud, annoying self. The next, boom! Something had come flying out of nowhere and knocked him out cold. And then there was that guy, that big guy. Miracle wasn't stupid. She had seen all kinds of men on these streets, rich, poor, violent, desperate. But she had never seen someone like him before. She had been sure she imagined it at first. But that face, those eyes, there was something about him, something that wasn't normal. Yo, Miracle! She snapped out of her daze as Hot Sauce strutted into the room, adjusting his sunglasses even though it was dark as hell inside. A fresh bruise covered half his face, his lip was swollen, and his usual cocky grin was nowhere to be found. "Girl, what the hell happened to me last night?" he demanded. Miracle fought back a laugh. This was too good. "You don't remember?" she asked, feigning surprise. "Nah, man, I was talking to you and then, bam. Next thing I know, I wake up in the damn alley and my coat's gone." He rubbed his head, wincing. "You see who did it?" Miracle leaned back, sipping her drink, thinking fast. Could she tell him the truth? No way. Even she wasn't sure what she saw, so she shrugged, all casual-like. "Looked like some gang guys, I think. Maybe some new fools trying to make a name for themselves." Hot Sauce's eyes narrowed. "You sure?" "Yeah," she said, keeping her face straight. "They rolled up, said something about how you were running your mouth too much. One of them had big-ass arms, though. Knocked you clean out." Hot Sauce scowled. "Damn punks. I swear I'ma find out who—" "You sure about that?" Miracle cut in, raising an eyebrow. "Maybe just let it go before you get another concussion." For a second, it looked like Hot Sauce wanted to argue. But then his bruised jaw twitched, and he just muttered, "Man, whatever." Just then the door swung open, and 3 other women strolled in, Candy, Starla, and Peaches. "Damn, baby," Candy said, eyeing Hot Sauce's busted face. "Who hit you with a bus?" Hot Sauce shot her a glare but ignored the jab. "Whatever. We got business to talk about." The girls exchanged looks. "What kind of business?" Starla asked, twirling a piece of gum around her finger. "A job," Hot Sauce said. "Big money. I got a client set up and he wants all of y'all." Miracle's stomach twisted just a little. She had done these kinds of jobs before. Rich guys, private parties. It wasn't always bad, but sometimes it got real bad. She glanced at Candy, who raised an eyebrow. Peaches looked uneasy too, but Starla just shrugged. "How much we talking?" Peaches asked. "Enough to keep you fed and looking good for weeks," Hot Sauce said smoothly. "It's a private thing outside the city. Some real exclusive guys. They like their privacy, but they pay up front." "Where at?" Miracle asked. Hot Sauce grinned, adjusting his sunglasses. "Underground," he said. "Real exclusive." Miracle didn't like the sound of that, but money was money, and she had bills to pay. Later that night, the ride to the party was already off. Miracle knew it. Candy knew it. Even Peaches, who usually didn't mind a little weirdness, kept glancing around, shifting uncomfortably in her seat. The 4 of them were crammed into the back of a blacked-out SUV, rolling further out of the city than they expected, way out. Hot Sauce was in the front seat, chatting with the driver like he wasn't leading them into the unknown. "Yo, how much longer?" Candy called out. "Not long," Hot Sauce replied. "Relax, girl. Y'all about to get paid." Miracle glanced at Starla, who had been unusually quiet the whole ride. "You good?" Starla hesitated, chewing her gum a little too hard. "Yeah, just, this ain't like the usual, you know? Why we going so far?" Miracle didn't have an answer. Neither did anyone else. Then the SUV slowed down. They weren't in a neighborhood. They weren't even in a mansion district, which is what they were expecting. They were at the edge of the city, near an old industrial area, rusting warehouses, broken streetlights, cracked pavement, and ahead, an entrance to something underground. Miracle's stomach twisted. "Yo," Peaches said, "what the hell is this?" The SUV stopped. Hot Sauce turned around, grinning way too much. "We here, ladies." Below the city, the hallway was too clean. That was the first thing Miracle noticed as they were led deeper underground. This wasn't some dingy basement-level hideout. This place had money behind it. Big money. The walls were smooth, polished metal. The lighting was dim but expensive looking, and the air smelled sterile, like a hospital. And the people? Miracle didn't know who any of them were. Not the usual rich guys looking for a thrill. These men were different. Older, well-dressed, powerful. They sipped from crystal glasses, speaking in low, hushed tones, barely acknowledging the women being led in. But when they did look, it wasn't lust, it was something worse. Something that made Miracle's skin crawl. A man in a white suit approached them, his gaze cold and calculating. "Ah," he murmured, looking the girls over. "These will do." Miracle tensed. Hot Sauce, oblivious, laughed. "See? I told y'all, big money." The white-suited man nodded once. "You may leave now." Hot Sauce hesitated. "Wait. You've been paid. Leave." Something in the man's voice made even Hot Sauce shut up. He shot Miracle a look like, "You better not mess this up," then turned and walked off without another word. The girls stood there, frozen, as the white-suited man gestured toward a set of double doors. "Inside," he said simply. Miracle didn't move, neither did Candy. Peaches took a half step back. "Look, I don't." The man tilted his head, and just like that, the air in the room changed. The guards at the door straightened. Miracle felt her pulse hammering. They weren't guests here, they were property. The double doors swung open. Miracle stepped inside, her gut tightening. The room was massive, bathed in a deep red glow from the sleek, low-hanging chandeliers above. Unlike the sterile halls outside, this place had been designed to impress. Velvet drapes lined the walls and glass cases filled with strange artifacts. Golden masks, preserved animal skulls, things she couldn't name, were displayed like trophies. But it wasn't the decor that unnerved her. It was the people. They stood in small groups, murmuring quietly, sipping dark liquid from crystal glasses. Their suits were pristine, their movements calculated, and their eyes. Miracle had been around rich men before. She knew the way their gazes lingered, undressing women without a second thought. This was different. This wasn't hunger. It was scrutiny, like they weren't looking at women. They were looking at specimens. Peaches, shifting uncomfortably beside her, whispered, "Yo, I don't like this." Candy rubbed her arms. Something's off. The air felt wrong, too heavy, too still. Miracle turned, glancing at the far end of the room, and froze. A sleek black banner hung from the wall, illuminated by soft golden lights. It was simple, unassuming. A single letter in the center, L, and beneath it, in polished silver script, Lazarus Industries. Her stomach plummeted. Lazarus. She had heard the name before, whispers from people who knew better than to ask questions. Lazarus owned half the city, and none of it was clean. She swallowed, suddenly hyper-aware of the fact that they were completely trapped. The white-suited man gestured toward a long, polished table in the center of the room. "Sit," he said smoothly. "The host will be joining us soon." Miracle's heartbeat pounded in her ears. Her skin crawled. The doors behind them clicked shut, and they were locked in. The hunt. Deep beneath the city, in the cold, damp tunnels, the giants prepared for the hunt. Harg dragged a rusted metal pipe across the stone wall, the screeching sound echoing through the caverns. "It's been too long since we had something fresh," he muttered, his mouth twisting into a grin. "I want to hear them scream." Ruva, sharpening a bone dagger against a rock, smirked. "You always do." The others chuckled, their voices a low, guttural murmur in the dim torchlight. A few stretched their massive limbs, anticipation crackling in the air, like a coming storm. This was a ritual to them, a cycle. They were hunters, and tonight, the tunnels would be full of prey. Drupnir stood near the entrance, arms crossed, trying to ignore them. His father Gorm loomed beside him. "You will hunt," the old giant growled. "No more avoiding it." Drupnir's jaw tightened. "I don't see the point," he muttered. "We have enough." Harg let out a mocking laugh. Listen to him. Maybe he'd rather eat trash like the humans. A few of the others joined in, their deep chuckles bouncing off the walls. "You keep running from what you are, brother," Ruva said, her eyes narrowing. "One of these nights, we might start wondering if you really belong with us at all." Drupnir's fists clenched. He could feel all their eyes on him now. Gorm placed a heavy hand on his shoulder. "Enough talk. When the prey comes, you will act." His voice was final, unshakable. Drupnir said nothing, but in his gut he knew. Tonight something would change.